What's up, guys? Today we'll be going over the Kinetic legendary Sunshot, and this is going to be a Fatebringer role that if you're like me, you probably got explosive payload in Firefly and never thought twice about it. But I think this season there is a much better role on the Fatebringer, and that is what we'll be going over in this video. If you play on Steam and you're looking to pre-order Witch Queen or the 30th anniversary pack, you can do so on my Nexus store. The way it works is it's the same price as Steam, but a small portion of the sale will support me. And when you purchase from the store, you'll just get an email with the code. So beginning with the video, looking at the Fatebringer, the role of choice will be Firefly, which will always be a solar explosion, doesn't matter what subclass you're on, and will also give you reload speed on precision kills. And usually the god role will be paired with explosive payload, but I think the better perk for the season will be Osmosis. Whenever you throw a grenade, it will convert the weapon to the damage type of your subclass. And I think Osmosis is one of the best kinetic perks in the game right now with all the elemental world mods, along with a lot of the exotic reworks that now work with matching damage types to your subclass, for example Verity's Brow, or even something like Precious Scars on Titan. So if you just combine this with any of the elemental well builds I've uploaded this season, for example the Solar one on Dawnblade and also Titan, the Firefly itself will be able to make Solar wells from Explosive Well Maker. Also, you'll be able to make all kinds of wells with the Armaments mod, depending on what subclass you're on. If I'm using Solar, they'll be Solar. So just like the Judgment that I was talking about before with Demo and Osmosis, this works pretty much the exact same way. And if you're running an Elemental Well build with Phantom Might, you're also indirectly giving the Fatebringer a 25% damage perk along with Firefly. So not only are you making it work with all the Elemental Well builds, Osmosis is also now indirectly working as a damage perk because of Phantom Might. So overall, I think this role is the best one to pair with the Solar build I made for Dawnblade and also Titan. And I haven't been able to try this with the Path of the Burning Steps Titan build yet because I wasn't on my account and I didn't want to change around too much, but I can imagine it would be extremely strong. So yeah, that Fatebringer role is pretty cool, but how does that become the Sunshot in the Kinetic slot? Well, we can pair it with Chromatic Fire, and I know this was going to be a huge question, so does it work with Osmosis? So as you see, I put on a Void subclass to make a Solar and Void explosion, that we can see the difference. Then if I go in and convert my Fatebringer to Void, as you see, it no longer procs the Chromatic Fire explosion. So it does not work with Osmosis, but what we can do is use the old Fatebringer God roll and drop Osmosis back for explosive payload. Or with this build, you could keep Osmosis and just run it with Verities, Precious Scars, Path of Burning Steps, whatever. And the 4 mods of choice will be the old 3 Holy Trinity of War Mind Cell mods, so Wrath of Rasputin, Global Reach, and also Rage of the Warmind. But now to make that full combo work the way it used to, you also need a 4th War Mind Cell mod, the Burning Cells, which will add a solar tick damage to enemies hit by the explosions of War Mind Cells. And the 5th mod of choice for this build will be just kind of a freebie. I'm using Explosive Well Maker to still create solar elemental wells from both the Firefly, Chromatic Fire, and then also the War Mind Cells themselves. So now with all that going on, you get a precision kill with the Fatebringer. It'll create 2 explosions per headshot, which means you'll be getting all kinds of solar explosion kills, which will create War Mind Cells. Every single time you destroy one of the War Mind Cells, you have a chance of getting that infinite loop where you kill enough things to spawn in the next one. But as you'll notice when you're using this combo with the Burning Cells mod, it will apply a burn to the enemies, and if you're using Bottom Tree Dawnblade, the burns on that subclass, once the enemy dies, they will then explode like combustion on Sunshot, and it is coded the exact same way. So as you see, at the further ranges where the enemies are dying from the burns, they proc the combustion of Bottom Tree Dawnblade. So now with this Fatebringer, we get precision kills which create huge explosions. Those explosions create War Mind Cells. Destroying the War Mind Cells will then burn the enemies, which then proc the combustion of Bottom Tree. So now with everything going on, we can make our Fatebringer Solar. We have the explosions on kills. Then from the explosions of the War Mind Cells, it will then proc the combustion chain reaction explosions. So yeah, with this build, the Fatebringer is pretty much the closest thing you can get to a Kinetic Sunshot in the game, and it is super fun and really good for group ad clear. So overall, the Osmosis Firefly role works perfectly with all the Elemental Well mods this season, and more or less all the builds I've made so far whenever you needed a Kinetic primary. And if you're like me and you've been using these builds all season, it's definitely worth getting this role. And it's right up there with the Judgment with Osmosis Demo as my go-to primary this season. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the video, a shorter one today. Just a little bit of strike gameplay left. Thanks for watching, catch you guys next time.